One thing that blows me about narcissists, especially when you get them in a group, is how much of a follower they tend to be and how they don't have a mind of their own and how they just follow the crowd and basically just join in on the bully's tirades. It's like, you know how you remember off of That's So Raven, how you had Alana and her crew, how you had Alana that was the main culprit, but then you had Muffy that was like the backup that had to just co-sign on everything. It's like those types of people, they need to have someone to follow because they cannot lead on their own. And a lot of times those people, they don't even know who they truly are. They don't know who they are. So they have to follow someone under someone else's footsteps and be in somebody else's shadow in order for them to go ahead and find some type of validation or find some type of purpose in life or just find some type of way on how to interact with people. And when you see this in narcissism, you see how the followers, they follow that narcissist and they adopt their qualities, they adopt all of the type of negativity that they spew onto others. And eventually you see how they start to even copy word for word things that the narcissist has said to the scapegoat. And now you got other narcissists joining in and saying the same things to the scapegoat. So it's like you're not even being authentic to yourself. You're basically just piggybacking off of what's her face had said. And now you're acting like those are your words. Prime example. So when I was in college, I talk a lot about my narcissistic abuse with my sorority sisters. Okay, lawnmower. With my sorority sisters. And what happened is there was one girl who was the dean of our line. Her name was Rakima Book Award. Fuck you, cockeyed bitch. Rakima Book Award, she basically at some point in time was like, you know, telling me, you know, I don't trust Terry because I don't know what she is going to say, if she's going to, and I have an image to uphold and I have a reputation on this campus and I don't want you saying things about me and people are looking at me a certain way and then my image is ruined. My image is important to me. Blase, blase. That's how you know you're dealing with a narcissist, because they care so much about their image. And then when they think, it's like it was all going on like inside her head, thinking that I was going to potentially ruin her image when it wasn't even the case. So then her little flying monkey, who was my line sister, Jennifer Patterson, there was this one time where Jennifer, she's the follower. Let me give you an example about how she's a follower. Well, Jennifer was the type of person where she was the one that played both sides. She was cool with me at some point, but then kept going back to the rest of the line sisters in our pro fights and would talk shit about me. And because she was kind of on the fence and playing both sides, they probably were giving her a hard time about it. They probably were making her feel like, well, that's your sister, that's your friend, that's your girl. You go ahead and deal with her. But if you dealing with her, then we ain't finna deal with you if you dealing with her. So it could have been a lot of stuff that's going on. And because she's insecure, because she didn't have a strong grounding within herself, she allowed the evil people to control her, and she became evil herself and turned her back on the one person that had her back. And it's all backfired because by the time I dropped out of school and went home, came home, and the same way that she would try to dismiss me and act like I wasn't important to her, then by the time I had dropped out of school, here she comes FaceTiming me one random day in the spring semester, talking about crying to me, tears streaming down her face about how she has no friends and she feels lonely and she's sad and she's upset. And if I would have been a shitty person, I would have just said, bitch, fuck you. I don't give a damn about you. You treated me like shit, so bye. Deal with that, relish in it. But I'm not like them, and I'm not like her. So what I did instead is I sat there with her. I listened to what she had to say. I was comforting her, giving her empathy, grace, and compassion, something that she honestly didn't deserve from me, but I gave it to her anyway because that's the type of person that I am. Because I realized that being good makes them probably feel a whole lot more remorseful for how horrible they treated me, because it really humbles the fuck out of them, honestly. And sometimes that's a little bit better than actually letting them have it, even if they deserve it. Okay. So there was this one argument that we were having where she started an argument with me and is talking about, well, you know, Terry, like, I have an image to uphold and I don't want you messing up my image. And I'm just thinking like, girl, those are not even your words. Those are not even your words. Those are Rakima's words. And a lot of times narcissists do that. They go ahead and they go vent to somebody else because they can't challenge you by themselves. They can't battle against you by their damn self. They have to go to somebody else. They have to get someone else's advice, someone else's guidance, someone else's words, and they copycat those words, adopt it as their own, and then they use it to go against someone. So if you ever hear something where a person is trying to come at you or attack you, and it's just like what you're saying doesn't even sound like your voice or your words, or sounds like something you can conjure up out of your own fucking mouth, because I know you, it sounds like that's not even yours. But when you pay attention to that, because when things happen where someone says something to you and you're like, you know what, that doesn't sound like something you would say, but it does sound like something that she would say, or something that he would say. I feel like you took his words and now you're saying it. Or I feel like you took her words and now you're saying it. If you ever felt that, I'm telling you, family, I'm telling you, you were right. That was your intuition picking that up, because you know for a fact who's capable of saying something like that and who isn't. So when Jennifer basically followed Kima and said the same thing to me that Kima said to me, that's when I'm realizing, okay, Jennifer is not a threat to me. She's a fucking follower. And if she doesn't have anybody else to follow, how is she going to challenge against me? You know? And it was crazy because she was trying to act so serious when she was having this whole argument with me, trying to act all tough, all big and bad. And one of our other line sisters was in the room, Era Shay. And Era Shay is the type of goofy person where she laughs all the time, when even in serious situations. So Era Shay is laughing at her. And Era Shay is the type of person where she does laugh when someone is getting like picked on and stuff. So she was laughing at me because of what Jennifer was saying, but also at the same time, she probably was laughing at Jennifer for trying to act all tough when everybody knew Jennifer wasn't that type of person. You know what I'm saying? So, and then every time that Era Shay would laugh and she's covering up her face with covering up her mouth with her hand, Jen would break character and start laughing and being, Era Shay, stop, that's not funny. But anyway, Terry, I'm pissed at you. And it's just like, girl, just stop. Seriously, just stop, Jennifer. Because what you're doing right now is you're embarrassing the fuck out of yourself. You're really making yourself look like a whole ass fool. Because while you're trying to be all serious, you can't even take yourself seriously in this situation. Ain't nobody else around here taking you seriously. Everybody knows this is all a class act you're putting on to act all big, bad, and tough in front of everybody else, because you want to assert your dominance. You want to just assert some type of power and control. You want to basically prove yourself into everybody else to make it seem like, you see, I don't like Terry. I do have a problem with Terry. I will stand up to Terry because watch, look what I just did. So it's like Jennifer had to wait until she got in front of everybody else, in front of the rest of our line, rest of our ship, in order for her to unleash her wrath and all those tirades. And it's like, now one time would she pick up the phone and say this to me, to my face. Now one time would she say that it was just one-on-one, but when she's in front of a group, all of a sudden, here she goes. So I'm telling you, you see right through it. You see right through it. And even if, like, at the time, I was unsure on how to navigate that situation. Okay. But looking back on it, intuitively, I could really understand what was happening, although I did not know how to respond to it, how to interact with it, how to socialize with it, because I am autistic. So social interactions are difficult for me, where even if I'm feeling something deep down and I'm processing it, it's a slow to process and a slow to respond on me responding on what I'm actually feeling. Okay. So when you deal with narcissistic people, they're cowards, they're scary, they're insecure. They only act big, bad, and tough when they're in front of a group of people because they feel like they have something to prove. And if a person feels like they have to prove something in front of a group to, peer pressure, like, let me show you how I'm not on Terry's side and I'm really on your side. Let me show you by how I'm treating Terry, by how I'm mistreating her. Then you're fake, you're phony, you're insecure, you have low self-esteem. You don't have a strong enough backbone within yourself to say, hey, listen, Terry, that's my girl, so y'all gonna stop talking to her. And if y'all don't want to fuck with me because I'm fucking with Terry, then fine, I don't have to fuck with y'all. Because if y'all really fuck with me, y'all will stop doing that. So people don't have a strong enough backbone where they can actually defend themselves. And although I can understand why they all did that because of their own insecurities, because of how they chose to deal with me, they could have chose to be kind. They could have chose to have left me the hell alone. But because they chose to be abusive, that's why I choose to have no mercy. And that's why I choose exposure, because of my justice that I desperately need to seek because of what happened to me. So yeah, no mercy for my enemy.